Ooh, coffee is on. Oh, I hear
that's
someone's
me, that's
laptop.
All right,
Someone's
Dad.
laptop is pumped up all the way.
All right, Dad.
Put some her on today, didn't you?
No, not entirely.
Can we
but-
talk about our Apple TV experience and how it's changed our life before we jump into it?
Yeah, but should we see if more people come in so we share that conversation?
Share that conversation with Red. No, they're coming. They're coming in. They'll bring in a new conversation. Let's go ahead and write our form. Here, go ahead and write. Let's go ahead and write our formula on the board.
Isn't that what is it? The coaches?
Yeah. All right. I guess yeah.
Yeah, you got something in your head right now. You write it down.
All right.
I'll greet the.
You'll greet the people. All right. I'm doing whiteboard action today. The only action we get around here. Whiteboard action.
Speak for yourself.
Oh no. GM, coach. Actually, this is where I needed a paper towel. Whiteboard creation today. Oh no. I need your coach.
My hair. Yeah, what's up? Oh.
GM. Coach. And together, they need to work together to get a quarterback. And then you choose your own O skills or D skills. What are some teams? What are some teams that maybe some people in the audience can help too? We're talking about right now how our formula for a winning team, and it's kind of what we're seeing right now with what's going on in Houston.
Mm-hmm. Well, the first one
and
Chiefs.
New York. But yeah, go ahead. So yeah, we'll do Chiefs. Obviously, that's the most recent
one.
one.
I didn't let you talk because I know where you're going. But right, Chiefs.
Yep.
We can say 49ers. Why? Because I think they got their coach before Garoppolo. I'm looking.
Kyle Shanahan.
Do you know why I'm mentioning these teams? I'm just looking at the Super Bowls.
Yeah.
So should I look?
That's fine. No, yeah, Super Bowl. No, because we are wondering what's the formula for a championship team, whether that's making it or winning one.
Forget the losers then.
No, making it. No, making one. No, yeah.
Well, 49ers. I think they had Shanahan before they traded for Garoppolo.
All right. Let's go with Carroll, Seahawks.
Does GM matter in this formula?
I think it does because you need that philosophy to be mutual between the head coach and the GM because you're working together and finding the right players. Huh?
Take it away.
Take it away.
I'm just hearing two things just come together.
Yeah, it's all built on philosophy.
Yep.
It's all built on philosophy. And the owner's got to find someone that fits their philosophy. That's why the Houston Texans had to wait until they were put under pressure to bring in Eric Bieniemy because their philosophy as a franchise is shaky. And that's why they wouldn't go after someone like that.
Can I say these 3 notifications? I have 3 different sports. The NWSL adds Sacramento as a new team.
There we go. Expanding. They're expanding.
Dolphins question Tua's talent.
I saw that in the Miami Herald, yes.
And Stephen A. says, I think Kyrie should retire.
Wow.
Those are
big. Wow. And we just started today.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, you know what? He did miss his 5th straight game yesterday. They were playing.
We'll probably talk about that later.
Yeah, we'll get into that questions. Right now, we're working on the building a championship team in the NFL because if there's something that we're seeing right now is possibilities for franchises that are going to be going back to their base level. Someone like the New York Jets. You got your GM now. Now you need to go somewhere and get your coach. We believe that they have a quarterback in Sam Darnold. Now it's about getting some skilled players around him on the offensive side of the ball. And we're going to tell you about that. That's a little tease for a little something later on when we get into a little draft talk. But what we're seeing right now from Houston is they did not have the right head coach when they brought in Deshaun Watson. Thus, it is a mess in Houston. A mess. You got the quarterback now unhappy. You got former players of the Houston Texans coming out, like Andre Johnson and DeAndre Hopkins coming out and putting in taking Deshaun Watson's side in this whole process. And then what happened after that? They call Eric Bieniemy up and want to schedule an interview with him. It's just funny how that works. Detroit, they thought they had their head coach in. It wasn't Jim Caldwell, but it was the coordinator over there in Philadelphia now.
I saw it.
Schwartz.
Yeah, what about Schwartz? Former
They,
Lions
they
coach?
had they thought they had their coach, and they got their quarterback, and it became a whole mess. Then you got Jim Caldwell coming in. Didn't work out. Matt Patricia came in, and we saw how that went. And now they're on the verge of looking for a head coach. And now their quarterback, Matt Stafford, is going to the free agency. Matt Ryan of the Atlanta Falcons, a team that's coming in with a new coach, means they're going to be bringing in a new quarterback unless Matt Ryan re-signs with the Atlanta Falcons. Then it's, we're seeing a lot. We're seeing teams in the NFL now that are starting over.
I did see one thing. This is not totally this is a little off. Of if Falcons draft a quarterback, let's say they get Fields at number 4, right? Because they get 4, Cincinnati is 5. They can do the Mahomes. Why not have Fields sit a year behind Matt Ryan?
I'm all for it. I'm all for that type of. I'm all for that idea because we've seen it work.
I think
that's if Matt Ryan wants to stay back and want to do something like that. Maybe Matt Ryan wants to go play in New England. Maybe Matt Ryan wants to go play in Miami. God knows what their quarterback situation is like. But I say Miami very loosely because they're possibly going to trade for Deshaun Watson. Let's see, and they got to see what happens when they keep Tua.
Going through the Super Bowls, although half of them are Patriots, but going through the winners and runner-ups, most of them did get their coach before the quarterback, whether that was 2 months before they drafted the quarterback or that was a couple seasons before they got the quarterback.
Yeah.
Most do coach before quarterback. Some that stand out, because I remember I've looked at this before, the Eagles. The Eagles, I still count them when they won in 2017 because technically who was their Super Bowl winning quarterback? Foles. And although they drafted Foles when Andy Reid was there, they signed Foles back from Chiefs. Mm-hmm. They signed him when what's-his-face was coach?
Doug Peterson.
Peterson was coach.
That was another thing. I'm interested.
So they still fit that mold.
I'm really curious of why they fired Doug Peterson, other than maybe it was just a locker room thing. Players very frustrated what happened in Week 17. Maybe that was the, what is that called? Because you know what, he was part of unless it wasn't him that wanted Jalen Hurts, maybe it was someone above him, and it's like, hey man, we drafted Jalen Hurts, we're gonna bring someone in now to coach him. Maybe Doug Peterson was part of that agreement deal when they drafted the quarterback in the second round. Wasn't that kind of a shock? When you're just jamming to the music right now.
Sorry, yeah.
You're feeling the music.
I'm just waiting for some comments.
We got one viewer. Again. They can tell us where they're drinking at.
Us. I might be the viewer.
You might be the viewer. Can you tell us where we're?
I'm drinking some honey and cinnamon, but
just honey and cinnamon.
Let us know what you're thinking. Let us know what you're thinking, what you're drinking. Let us know what you're thinking. What you're thinking and drinking. Let us know what you're thinking.
I'm trying to think if Mike McCarthy, another guy, drafted Aaron Rodgers at a time when Brett Favre was still the starting quarterback. That's what they compared it to when the Chiefs drafted Mahomes. They compared it to what happened in Green Bay in the early 2000s. I think it was 2005 when Rodgers was drafted. That was the infamous draft. But that was the comparison that was made because, he got to sit behind Brett Favre. And look what happened. It ended up working pretty well for the Green Bay Packers.
They got him in the first one. He was supposed to be number 1. Look what happened.
Over 40 years old and number 1 seed in the 2020 playoffs. I don't know. I don't know how old
he's. I think he's 37.
All right.
That's my guess. But I'm not trying to brag. I think that's a really good guess.
Yeah. I'm gonna look up the Super Bowl results again that you had already pulled up because I want to see what other teams come to mind. Obviously, New England being a prime example of head coaching quarterback.
The most have fit the mold. The Falcons, who lost to the Patriots, that one didn't fit the mold because they didn't draft Ryan with that coach.
Who are you talking about? You talking about? You said Patriots. My bad.
Yeah, I meant Falcons losing to Patriots that year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Head coach didn't draft the quarterback.
That one didn't. No.
I wonder who
former coach. It was the coach before. Don't know the names, but know the face.
Yeah. He went on to be a coordinator.
Yeah,
I know you're talking.
He didn't get a head coach in
White hair. That's how I just remember him from having that slick white hair on the sidelines. Hey, Armand. Popping in on the channel. I'm trying to think of Tony Dungy. was the head coach of the Colts when they drafted.
I don't think they were.
No, he was the head coach of the. So, but look at that. They knew they had their quarterback, and they went out and find a head coach, and it worked out for them.
But isn't that different? I mean, yeah.
It's different than the formula, yes, but if you take one out of the equation, just like math, you got to fill it in still.
Yeah.
Just like any equation.
Okay, well, that's
the
the Colts, but yeah, that is one.
That's it. So
I'm thinking of other ones.
like.
No, I'm thinking of other ones that don't fit the mold. I'm just thinking of the Super Bowls. Every Super Bowl.
Well, how about we do someone like the? How about we? No, it can't be the 49 because they traded for Garoppolo.
Still, whether
you
it was
forget
through
about.
trade, draft, or signing, and again, whether it was even the coach was signed in February and they drafted in April.
Giants, it worked out pretty well for. Was Tom Coughlin the coach of the Giants at the time?
I think he was.
And we could talk about times where the team had the skill players but not the quarterback, and that's someone like
the 49ers.
Well, yes, like the 49ers, but also like the Baltimore Ravens, their Super Bowl winning team from 2001.
Yeah, it was.
Ray Lewis was the Super Bowl MVP that year.
Coughlin was signed in January. They drafted Eli.
There you go. So boom,
So
finding your head coach matters. And now also that's another current situation that we'll see kind of grow. And we could set and see what our theory, how it works. Jacksonville, number 1 pick, new head coach. The reason it's been at a standstill since Urban Meyer's been rumored to be hired is because what are the other rumors saying? He's working on his coaching staff. That's going to be one I'm very curious to see 5 years down the line what had happened in Jacksonville. Because you got the number 1 pick that the bad teams were going after. Remember how much the Jets were being made fun of? After losing number 1 pick?
Yeah. But that's a good segue, even though we have no
yeah. So we talk about a team that's getting a quarterback. What about the Jets, Armand? What do you think they should do? We talked about they already have the quarterback. They need to go find the coach.
No. They already have someone playing quarterback. They got to find the coach, right? That might not fit the mold. But listen, that quarterback, they can address that later.
Yeah.
Why don't they look at, which I know we both agree, and then you are missing one thing, and that's protection. But
offensive skills. Yeah, you're right. Protection.
But, for offensive skills, why not get the Heisman winner, right? Why not get Devontae Smith?
Oh.
I know.
We're
good. We're good. It's like we haven't heard this.
Why not get someone a weapon? Why not help out the quarterback on your team?
Because
you didn't help him out by hiring Adam Gase.
And what if someone says, don't get a wide receiver in the first round? Jets can say, okay, I'll pick something else in 20-something. What else do they need? They'll walk away the draft with 2 first-round talents.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Granted, something else happens, but I think that's fine. You could even say F it and get 2 receivers. Or do what I said and trade, if the Falcons want to trade Julio Jones, do a package that includes that later first-rounder and maybe something else. And then you have Julio Jones and Devontae Smith, and I bet that becomes at least 7-9 team.
There's always going to be quarterbacks to draft in the Jets as long as they're, you know what, if this doesn't work necessarily where they go out and build around Sam Darnold, God knows they did not do it. It's just frustrating to see you draft someone that high and you don't invest in the right things around him. And I'm not just talking about the head coach also, but I'm just talking about the players. I mean, the leading receiver this year was Jamison Crowder, I believe, and he was hurt. And then you had their tight end who had a big name going into the from preseason going on in. He had a low season, an underwhelming season. So the Jets, if they draft Devontae Smith, why not give Sam Darnold a shot with no excuses in this one season? And then guess what? If it doesn't work out and he wants to sign somewhere else, guess what? There's going to be a Matt Ryan. There's going to be a Matt Stafford. Not those names specifically, but there's going to be free agent quarterbacks the next year. And if you can bring in a veteran quarterback with already skilled players around, that's the way to do it in the NFL now. That's the championship formula for NFL teams. That's the model that they should be following. And all it means philosophy with the owner. And then we're going to use the Chiefs as an example because we're homers and we're biased and we don't care. Clark Hunt. What did he do the minute? I shouldn't say the minute. What did he do when he realized he needed a head coach? When that head coaching spot was vacant?
Oh,
there you go. There we go. Yes, they do need everything, Raj. Yes, O-line, wide receiver, cornerbacks. They need it all. But build around. Don't draft Justin Fields this year.
But that's the thing, exactly. And I hope you're agreeing with us. Imagine if they can get 2 of those needs in the first round.
At a very high skill level.
Then they'll have a coach. They'll get something.
Well, they still got to fill the coach part.
That. Yeah, I mean, they're going to get the coach before they draft unless they're the Jets.
That doesn't make sense. You're right.
But exactly. I think Raj is seeing exactly what we're seeing. I just give what's-his-face another chance. Just one more year. Yeah. And if not, guess what? You have Devontae Smith year 2, and you can draft a quarterback. And you have whoever else, and you can draft a quarterback. And then that coach can draft that quarterback.
Yeah.
So then you can fit the mold.
Yeah. Don't get caught up. And that's why I hate when
don't risk it on the biscuit right now.
That's what I hate after watching a wild card game and seeing that the Bills want to make Josh Allen the highest paid quarterback in the league. Overpaying quarterbacks can hurt your team unless you're keeping up with drafting players around him or doing something similar and signing skill players long term. Mm-hmm. And that's why you got to appreciate someone like your GM, Brett Veach. And that's what he did this past offseason. I'm curious to see how it works out, but thankfully, we're not a front office. We're not in the front office for an NFL team.
Not yet.
There you go. And so it's just that's the formula right there. Is because you see Clark Hunt, he needed a head coach. He went out and got Andy Reid. Big land. What did they do? They needed a GM next. You got John Dorsey. Then they got their quarterback, Alex Smith. If you remember that first season with the Chiefs, do you remember the skill players that they had? Donnie Avery was a receiver on that team. Travis Kelce, I don't even think was playing because he was hurt that season. I think O'Shaughnessy was playing at the tight end position for the Chiefs.
Not O'Shaughnessy.
O'Shaughnessy. You had Jamal Charles, Niles Davis at the running back. And remember,
you had some talent. You had some talent.
You had some talent on the defensive side with Justin Houston.
This was still
Tamaha Lee.
You
filled it with Alex Smith.
We thought this was filled, and we thought this was filled, and that found that.
Yeah, and that found that. And that's just the way that it goes. And that's the way that I see it now. And that's where a franchise like the Houston
Texans, that this mold gets you a Super Bowl, but what we think is if you want a Super Bowl, you have to follow this mold.
Yes, you got to follow. You got to.
And I'm looking that up right now, and I'll see if we can be proven wrong.
Like you're doing insight research. Man, oh man. Here we go. This is you right here. Your Big Ben question of the day.
Well, to the audience, which I think is just Raj.
That's fine.
And Marco.
What's our? Hey, wait, we gotta take a second. We're peeking at audience right now. We need to keep their attention while we got it right now.
Wait, we do?
What's our
audience? We have 5. How many do we have?
We will take any questions. I know we will ramble and talk, but if you guys have any questions at all,
we're like those guys at the bars. Please, we're desperate. Just give us anything. Just kidding. We've never been there. If you have any questions, just give us anything. We are dying.
Or else we're just gonna talk. But maybe that's what they came. We're listening to us talk because I want to hear you.
Maybe you're here to talk. We don't want to talk. We just want to converse. We don't just want to talk. We would like to converse. That's what I tried to say. We want to communicate. But
tell us what you're drinking on today. Where are you drinking it at? What's the coffee you're drinking on? Do you like your coffee like me, where it's just black, or do you like Armand's is, where you add some cinnamon,
a little cinnamon,
honey,
little honey, huh?
A little honey never hurt.
You like
nobody.
A little, yeah.
But talk to us about your Big Ben average. Big Ben.
So
average
Big Ben,
quarterback.
He's had Tom Coughlin, Hall of Fame coach. He's had Mike Tomlin.
Tom Coughlin? Bill.
Wow. Bill Cowher.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's all right. Yeah.
Cowher?
We said Coughlin.
I said that.
Same
that
draft.
That was not good. Okay. So Ben Roethlisberger, they go 15-1 their first season. Losing the AFC Championship game. They went to Big Ben probably went to 2 more AFC Championship games. Went to 3 Super Bowls, won 2 Super Bowls, had 2 great coaches, had a lot of talent on both sides, Hall of Fame talent, 2 Super Bowl MVPs that weren't Big Ben, but 2 of his receivers.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I'm pretty sure their ownership, their GM stuff, that's pretty good. But Big Ben, what I'm trying to say is he the greatest average quarterback of all time? Is Big Ben by himself just the dictionary definition of a true system quarterback? They put him in the system and he thrived. Maybe I am wrong. And I'm not trying to say he's the same as any type of average quarterback, any average quarterback we've had, like a Tannehill, right?
Mm-hmm.
If someone even wanted to group Alex Smith as average, like a Smith, those. I'm not saying they're all in the same. It's not just you're great, you're average, you suck. No.
There's something that Roethlisberger has done twice that Alex Smith and Tannehill haven't done once.
And he's been there 3 times. He's won it twice.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that MVP means nothing. And maybe we wouldn't have known. But is he, what I'm trying to say is he just the greatest average quarterback of all time? Because maybe he is.
Could be. Hey.
Could he win it by himself is my question. Now I know one thing. Chiefs could never, that's what I'm going to be telling my kids about that quarterback. You could never tackle that guy. For some reason, that guy was never tackleable. You could never, it was so hard to beat that guy.
Who? Big Ben?
Big Ben and the Steelers.
No one wanted to go up against Big Ben in the prime. No one wanted to. But you know what? Once he got.
But it wasn't just Big Ben.
No, you're right.
On the other side of the ball, you had Polamalu, my favorite player who's never worn a Chiefs uniform.
Mm-hmm.
You had
Harrison.
You had Bell, right?
Le'Veon.
Harrison.
Well, you're talking about.
I'm talking both sides.
Well, I know, but you mentioned Bell. That right there was a set of skill players that didn't even go to the Super Bowl. And you know it's crazy. I just saw this right now looking at the Super Bowls. 2 Super Bowl wins. Who were the MVPs of those Super Bowls that the Steelers won?
Hines Ward.
Yep.
And Santonio.
The wide receivers.
Exactly.
Going back on what we're Demetrius. What up, Demetrius Tice? From the Hy-Vee days. Demetrius, going back on what we were talking about a few minutes ago. We had Dexter McCluster as well with the Chiefs in 2013. Yes, we did, but Dexter McCluster is no Devontae Smith, Tyreek Hill. That's a good point, bringing up Dexter McCluster, another skills player on that Chiefs team when they, restarted with Reed and
Someone
Smith.
Who added seasoning to our sauce.
Yes, added some seasoning to the sauce, some excitement, some spark. I think Reed got the best that he could out of that team that went and lost on the road to Indianapolis in the divisional playoffs.
And maybe that team walked so this team we have now could run.
Exactly.
Instead of Dexter McCluster, we have McCall Hardman.
Yes.
Instead of Dwayne Bowe,
we have Tyreek Hill.
We have Tyreek Hill. Instead of O'Shaughnessy instead of Tony Milwaukee or instead of anyone who I thought was going to be good when we drafted him.
I like that you said Dexter McCluster and McCall Hardman because Tyreek, it's no longer can we look at Tyreek and judge him by his size, by his height, because he's more than just a small quarterback. So I like that you said that. But also, let's remember that team that went on the road and creamed Houston in the wild card game game this year.
That Houston team.
Oh yeah, led by Brian Hoyer. That in itself is, not good at all.
But that was the Chiefs' first playoff win in ever, right? So.
Yeah, and it was a road game too. So we'll take it. Armand, what happened to KU last night? Was that Cade Cunningham on that dunk at the end?
No. That was their other good player, 14.
14? I was at work yesterday, so I didn't get a chance to watch the KU game. Question for the audience, for the KU fans in the audience. Is it bad when Dave McCormick is the leader on the team?
No.
Does it hurt the team if he is your leading scorer at the end of the day?
No, but you know who I think.
Hold on, I'll wait. I'm asked the audience. You can talk when you get in your chair. Because they were down. I was following along on ESPN stats. I don't have ESPN Plus, but they were down by a good margin in the first half. I don't know.
They were down by 16 in the second. They came back up 3.
Right. I need to look at this.
Then this is what happens. Oklahoma State shoots a 3, ties it. Then Marcus Garrett tries to become an all-star point guard.
Yeah. Yo, can you talk and walk at the same time? No. Let's see. Jalen Wilson getting 4 points definitely doesn't help you. Wow, David put up 24 points.
Look
Dang.
at the last 2 plays before that 3-second play. Marcus Garrett had a block shot,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know why he took that shot. We had time, and it was tied.
Mm-hmm.
And then what does he do? He loses the ball or something. The
Yeah.
next play, those last 2 plays, and
What's up?
just trying to get my thoughts together. What was your question?
They can't hear the music, I don't think. You're the only one that can. We're the only ones that can hear the music.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Why?
Because it's kind of funny. Like I know what you're doing because I can hear the music, but they just see you. They
Yeah,
can't
but
hear
no,
the
I
music.
was really thinking.
Oh, you're really
What
collecting
was
your thoughts.
No. What was your question? Because I asked you your question, you stared at me.
Oh,
You're
I don't think I
trying to
had a
blame
question.
me for getting in this.
I don't think I had a question.
No, you said something about KU when I was up there, and you gave me a question. I was answering.
I know. What were your thoughts on
And then you
KU?
said-
What happened with
there
KU
we go.
yesterday? What happened with KU? I thought you were answering that all going back and forth.
What did
What did you think of KU yesterday?
Remember earlier we had said earlier this season we had said I had said it doesn't seem like there's a top star. There's no Devontae or Frank
Yeah,
on that team, but still they have a good team.
yeah,
When that's that formula, that current formula for that KU roster,
Yeah.
that means that it isn't a pretty team. They didn't play pretty yesterday. They haven't really played pretty most of the games. Against TCU, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
Against losses, wins, you see not too pretty yet. Most of the times they still win.
right.
I was getting off topic. I'm sorry.
In your head?
No, Buffface. No, you got me off topic. I'm just trying to answer your question, so I'm going back to your question. But this is basically the main part. When they don't have that, that means they don't play pretty, right? So they don't have a player that they can depend on every game.
Yeah.
Some people thought it was Ochai. Some people thought it was Wilson. I think Ochai and Wilson are I think Abaji and Wilson are the backbone of the team.
Mm-hmm.
I think Garrett's a defense. I don't think he is the defensive player of the year. He provides great defensive presence.
Yeah.
Defensive. He shouldn't be taking the offensive presence. He has his offensive shot. Those last 2 weren't his shots.
Yeah. There was just some frustrations in that game yesterday watching
that's
as a
what I'm
KU
thinking.
fan. Yeah. You're thinking of you're thinking those things that
I'm
frustrate you
just
in that
thinking
game.
this. They were down 16 against the highly coveted prospect who had 14 points in the first half. He had 14 points, and he made the he had 15 points. Well, Marco picked this song. He had 14 points in the first half, right? They held Cade to 4 points, and they went on a 21-2 run.
Yeah.
Towards the end of the game. And then all of a sudden, Oklahoma State somehow makes their last 3 shots. Makes a fantastic 3, gets the and one that I'm a little.
Remember, I saw KU didn't even have a chance at the end because they turned it over.
But you're talking about McCormick.
I'll put my reasoning of why I asked it that way. Because yesterday I was listening to 580 Sports Talk. Oh no!
Yeah, I did last show, but at least you weren't there.
Raj, do you shower before these shows?
Yeah, you tell him.
So yesterday I was listening to Jesse Newell on sports on 580 Sports Talk, and he had brought up that the question was asked: is Dave McCormick a star on this team? Is he a guy that is gonna fill those shoes, fill that role that Bill Self wanted him to?
Yeah.
And he said, "You know what? I think KU is better off just going with the role that McCormick had already as a pick and roll type of forward."
He's big on that.
And so naturally, if he's a rebound, pass, then shooter in that order, is KU a better team when he just plays that role?
And what I was going to say is Newell agrees with you. And that's funny you said that. He wants that 5.
Well, no, that's why I asked that, because I heard it on the radio. I don't have an opinion.
Listen, the thing is this. McCormick finally last 2 games had, I think you said this last game, is this finally McCormick coming?
Yep.
He had 2 great games by stats.
Yeah.
Still didn't play perfect, but we're learning when he puts up a lot of shots, puts up about 15 shots, he'll make about 50%.
Yeah.
That's about 14, 15 points, right?
Not your
Something like that.
72 that you got from Doak, but that's not. He's not Doak.
Still,
Yeah.
no one is
No one is
that
Doak.
great at that small thing that Doak
You're right.
was.
You're right. Yep.
And probably the fact of Doak being so good at short range shots, while fans may have hated it, that might be great for people who love analytics like Jesse Newell.
And like the Utah Jazz.
Because they believe that there's 3 ways to shoot in basketball. 3 under the basket and at the free throw line. That's why they don't like the mid-range
I like that.
shot.
I like that.
Because why is a mid-range shot? Mid-range shot is a hard 2. A mid-range shot and under the basket is worth the same thing. It's 2 points.
Right.
I'm not agreeing with that. That's just where they see.
Of course.
I know I'm going off task. I'm not.
No,
really
I
answering the
asked
question,
you.
but
This is good.
The thing with McCormick is this. Newell's going to look at the efficiency.
Mm-hmm.
I bet look at how many points we can score without McCormick, and it makes sense. And I'll be frank, I don't think I can answer if they're better off without him. I want McCormick to play. I'm fine playing 4 guards in one.
Right.
But I'm okay with switching out McCormick, giving Lightfoot maybe 7-5 minutes a game, but then also giving another guard, putting another guard forward at that 5, playing that 5 guard. So alternating between mostly a McCormick and 4-guard lineup and a 5-guard lineup, right? Put it in those order. That 5-guard and then Lightfoot coming in for those cleanup minutes, for those dirty minutes, right? Yeah. I shouldn't say clean. I call it dirty minutes.
I know. No, hey, you got to bring him in.
But the problem is, I think Bibbs, I don't think he's here, but he kind of called me out, or he was saying how was KU right a mess just after 1 month.
Oh gosh.
And we didn't think so.
Well, this is actually their second conference.
And you thought this is your favorite KU team you've seen. It's a good team.
And that's why I asked you that question, is because as much as I like David McCormick and I like seeing the numbers that he's producing, it's not, I don't think, what this team is.
My worry is this team is giving glimpses of a team we saw junior year of high school, right? They lost to Auburn, right?
Yeah.
That team, LeGerald Vick had the 4 seed, right? Lost to a good Auburn team still, but got kind of manhandled by Auburn.
Yeah.
Right in that
was a good shooting team.
And
that was a good.
That was made to the Final Four.
Yeah,
they were a ref's call away from a championship.
That was a Harper-led Auburn team.
But yeah, I'm afraid that I hope that's not that KU team. And this is how I'm going to end this whole spiel.
Mm-hmm.
We always talk about off the court stuff, or at least we do off the court. We're talking about off the court stuff. Of course, that off talent is what separates those players from me. One of the many things.
Yep.
But there's one thing that separates a fantastic player from a great, or a great from a good player. And that's the things off the court. That's the right here, right? The right here. The leadership qualities, right?
Yeah.
You can go off. We can go off about that. But let's just focus on leadership as part of here.
Yeah.
Who is KU's leader? We've kind of posed that question. You can't give it to are you going to give it to one of the seniors? Lightfoot, who plays a few minutes a game? Or Garrett, the silent defensive power?
Yeah, he's not the voice.
So.
He's not the voice.
Is it Wilson, the redshirt freshman? That's who I was seeing. Is it Ochai? How much of a voice does he have? That's what I said. KU got spoiled with 3 consecutive 3+ year starters in Perry Ellis, Frank Mason, and Devontae Graham, back to back to back. We saw their senior nights, and I'm sure they started nearly every game starting with their sophomore year. And all 3 started doing valuable minutes their freshman year. In fact, towards the end of their freshman year. That's when Perry started playing basketball. Devontae started doing well that freshman sophomore year. Exactly, Raj. That's exactly what I was saying. KU lacks the obvious superstar.
So each player has come forward their own role and plays their best game.
You're right.
How did
they aren't being too confident. That's the thing. When I saw them, the first areas, Giltner Creative's back. Raj, when I was seeing the first game against Gonzaga, it didn't look like they were playing as a team. They were playing as 5 players. And the reason I say that, Dick Vitale said that of that Andrew Wiggins KU team. The greatest recruiting class in KU history, correct? Still lost to Stanford, a 10-seed Stanford, I believe, in the second round. Not a great team. Had some interesting losses, although the individuals were so good. They had people like a Frank Mason, a Wayne Selden, a Wiggins, an Embiid, right? The list goes on and on. Coached by Bill Self, right? Yet they couldn't what was missing? What was missing from that formula? They had that superstar, but they weren't comfortable. They didn't have a leader. And that's the thing. This team isn't looking too comfortable. And I know I'm not looking the most confident. I'm not looking too comfortable with my words. But
Bro, what are you talking about?
You're right. You're right, Rajat, actually.
All I see is people agreeing with you.
I just keep thinking of things to say. When we talk about McCormick, we always talk about McCormick being nervous or uncomfortable. And that's how a lot of the players are. They're looking a little too nervous and a little too uncomfortable. And he hit it a nail on the head, right?
Yep.
They need to realize their role. Do they have problems with realizing their role when you sometimes play some of the players at 3 to 4 different positions, right? Maybe that's why, and I don't know. This is a young team, though, and if they wanted to stay together, they could be good. But I feel like that's, I should admit, that's a broken record when it comes to talking about KU. How many times?
Well,
have
college
people said
basketball
that?
too.
But you're right, Giltner Creative, that leadership factor. If we think of it as a formula, a championship team has 2 qualities, right?
Yeah.
It
Let's hear it.
has your
We talk
your
just college
sport,
basketball.
your sport talent,
Uh-huh.
and your mental ability.
Mental ability, or
By that, I mean your confidence, your leadership, all that, right? Your mental qualities, maybe
Yeah,
I should
okay.
say. It's a mixture. Let's give them 2 coefficients. It's a mixture of some amount of talent and some amount of none.
Uh-huh.
Don't change that. I look ugly. Some amount of talent and some amount of right here, right? Something in here and something in here. When you mix those together and you hit 100%, that's what makes the champion team. That's what makes a championship team. A lot of times people just think it's right in here, like with
Bronze.
the Wiggins team.
Yeah.
It's all about the on-court
Oh
talent.
man, and that team did not go far, and that had a lot
And
of.
that was a
studs.
very talented. I just named those players. Maybe they weren't in their prime. Don't get me started with Embiid. Embiid wasn't the Embiid we see right now.
NCAA didn't help that either, though.
But
Today, Stephen A. Smith put out or said, I don't know if we weren't watching. What's the show called? I can't even think of the snow. First Take. We weren't watching First Take today, but Stephen A. had come out and said that he thinks that Kyrie Irving should retire, and this is his reasoning because we know what Kyrie is doing as.
Kyrie's
wanna make
sitting
sure-
out right now, right?
Yeah, but
sitting out because
he's using his time for he's not just sitting out to sit out. He's being proactive with his time within the community, right? No, I don't know.
Isn't he on? I forgot what the exact word is, but yeah. Well, I mean,
He's kind of getting into politics.
he has ever since the summer, and I even saw a tweet a couple days ago that said Kyrie made it clear that he doesn't want to play until he feels that equality is addressed.
And hey, what did I tell
So-
you? What is something that we know, something that we've said? There's things bigger than sports out there. And even when one of the best point guards in the league, it just goes to show that I feel like that we need to focus on not him needing to retire or get away from basketball, but the message that he's trying to send throughout the sports world is that there are problems. There are bigger problems than trying to figure out how to reach an NBA championship. There are bigger problems in our world than winning a trophy for a franchise.
Yeah.
There's bigger things in sports out there for him.
Yeah,
And I'm not going to get much into it because I don't know what Kyrie does, what he does with his.
we don't.
I really don't. I don't know what he does in the
We
politics
know
side of things.
he has his beliefs and he's strong about his beliefs,
Yes.
like with the flat Earth.
But I don't mind Stephen A's argument for this. When the guy signed for 4 years, $141 million, and only plays 20 games in the previous year, and he sat out a 5th straight game so far this season. At this point, I think Stephen A is not trying to criticize Kyrie, but it's trying to tell him, hey, man, if you need to go take care of this, then go take care of it. Do what you got to do. But at the same time, there are people who are trying to make a living in this league and are wanting to stay in the league. And, there's payroll. There is payroll. And you're getting paid at a superstar level to come play NBA basketball. But if you don't feel that you're feeling that's not where you need to be now, because like we said, there are bigger problems in the world. And if you want to take the time to come out, not be basketball, Kyrie Ivory, Kyrie Irving, if you want to drop basketball and put
Humanitarian work, right?
If you want to go put your time into the community, nothing wrong with it, man. I've got no problem with it. But unfortunately, and I hate it, we always hate it. There's business in sports. It sucks.
It's a business. It's a corporation.
You're right. Amen.
It's one of the most money-making businesses in this country.
You're right.
Athletics is. And those athletes that they may, NFL, NBA, MLB, we can say those three. NHL, MLS, that's next up. I know I'm biased because we don't have an NHL team, but I'll categorize them in that. And then NCAA is not just sprinkled in there. They're on the top.
Yeah.
They make money off these people.
Then he's got to go. Then you got to go do what you got to do, Kyrie. Don't feel like you got to be tied to basketball. If your heart's not there, what do we talk about? The why. Your why. Your why. I was just thinking about this last night. I got cut from my freshman baseball team in high school.
Okay.
I was asked to go try out after a summer season for my sophomore year. And you know what I told my coach? I said, no, it's not fun anymore. It's not fun. If your heart's not in the basketball, there ain't nothing wrong with that. If it's not there, if it needs to go be on the front line of what's going on in the world for a side that you want to be on, do it, my man. Do it. But at the same time, remember, you have a commitment to another team, a $141 million commitment. Raj, that's difficult to say because we don't know because why would Houston trade for a guy that, what we're just talking about? He may not even want to play basketball right now. That's not where his mental focus is. And how much important, what did we just talk about? If he's going to be a leader on this team, if he's going to be a $141 million player, he's got to have this and this. This is not there. But
the thing is, Kyrie, instead of maybe not having this, right, he has the championship.
Yeah. Hey, he's got a great career.
And he's 28. But Raj is kind of saying what we didn't say. Should he pull a Maya Moore? I mean, that's exactly what you explained. And that's what it is.
I love that Raj brought that up. Thank you, Raj.
Maya Moore saw that it was a need to do that.
Yep.
And you can explain on it if you want. Maya Moore saw that it was a need to sit out for what she thought she believed in. She did, and God bless her because she got a good result out of it.
Hey, she ended up marrying.
So maybe
Jonathan
Kyrie should take a look at the WNBA star, huh?
A journey. I'm quoting this from the New York Times. Literally the first sentence: "A journey for justice turned into a love story when Maya Moore, one of the WNBA's brightest stars, married the man she helped free from prison." That right there is a hell of a story. That's the New York Times back on September 16, 2020. And the man that they're referencing that she freed from prison was Jonathan Irons. And Raj, thank you. Thank you for that. Yes.
And for those who live under
that's a cherry on top.
Maya Moore isn't just a WNBA player.
No.
NCAA champion. Is she WNBA champion?
WNBA champion.
Is she ever with
Minnesota?
She's like probably the top three.
Yeah. She left when she was still in her prime. That was great, Raj. That was great. That was a great pull. Oh man, a great point. But yeah, so that's what it is, man. If you're Harden,
Kyrie for a Harden trade. I don't like that for Nets at home. That's not. I don't even want to talk about it because I don't think that's going to happen. I like that for Houston though. If they can get Kyrie to play.
I'll tell you this. I'll go with that, but we're gonna take Kyrie out. I think it's too late now for Houston. I think it's too late to trade Harden. You can't deal him.
Let's talk about Harden. You're just moving on. Because
how can you not talk about him after yesterday?
No, I'm saying yes. That's perfect. We're segueing into. I just got to give my 2 cents on the Harden trade.
Yeah.
I don't know who wants to give up what Houston wants for Harden. They want a boatload of picks. The winningest WNBA player, huh? The winningest player in her league decides to sit out for social justice for wives, something else.
Beautiful.
Maybe Kyrie should do that.
But yeah, go ahead. You don't think that team?
And that's just not my thoughts. Like that's all over. Houston wants a boatload for Harden. Mm-hmm. They want Harden worth for Harden. They want what you should get for an MVP.
Right.
But I don't think people want to give that for Harden, especially knowing the baggage that he's going to come with.
Who was the receiver that Booger McFarlane called out on the Bills? The Popeyes biscuit comment.
The
I care about the Chiefs had signed him to a deal towards the end of the.
Used to be on the Panthers.
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
Bills.
That's James Harden right now. He's one Popeyes biscuit now.
Popeyes biscuit.
It's just.
Hey, I don't care about his stomach. I just more care about there's two problems with Harden. You can talk about how great he is, but the two problems is how can a team play around James Harden? Everyone knows that. Everyone who watches James Harden, they know that. How does a team play around him? And then the off the court. I mean, those are two very simply said things, but that's what you got to think of with James Harden. Is he going to cause a lot of off the court problems? And is he going to just mess the on the court dynamic of the team? Maybe teams are realizing that. I'm not one who doesn't think. I actually had a friend in one of our Logan Evans, who's sometimes in here. He texted a chat I'm in. I didn't read it last night. It was at 1 a.m. This is what he said. Let's see what he said. He's not in here, but
pull up what he said. Pull up what Logan Evans said.
James Harden is the worst thing that happened to the NBA since the Malice at the Palace. That was a take to wake up to, and Bibbs liked that.
Wasn't there a corrupt referee in between there somewhere? That was
There was, yeah.
yeah, I don't know if James Harden's the worst thing, but I like what he I like what he
But
I know
the
what he means
reason I
there.
wanted to pull that out, not just to call him out, the reason I said that, other than to call him out, was that there are people who believe that outside of the sport. How many people believe that in the NBA? There's got to be at least one. I know that's just a number, but what I'm trying to say is that might be a thought people have. Is Harden worth it? And you can tell he's not working in Houston. Harden was saying the things he made like a trade me letter, trade me speech, basically.
Yeah.
You could say it.
You talking about yesterday in the press
last
conference?
Night. And then what does John Wall say? I think he would say, come on, man. Like, he was tired of it. He's like, they just aren't clicking. It's a new era in Houston. Everyone knows it. They got to get rid of him. But they might have to call Texans coach, call O'Brien. They might say, O'Brien, we need you to make a trade for us. They might just get 2 second-rounders for James Harden because there's nothing else to get.
Hey,
they might need to make it the Deshaun Watson trade.
Why not?
I'm totally kidding, but
you said 2 second-rounders
in the NBA. That's not good.
Why not? If you're getting
second-rounders aren't.
Second-rounders aren't good.
Outside of the first 10 picks, you can group everyone else. The first 10 picks are solid. If let's say I theoretically tried to do an NBA trade value chart over the summer.
Devontae Graham was a second-round pick.
Let's say you're right. Let's say I theoretically did that. Let's say one of my findings show that the top 10 picks are equal in value to the rest of the draft.
Mm-hmm. It's not going to be the same. You're right.
But
you don't trade Harden for 2 second-round picks.
The thing is, and you are exactly right. It's always been tough to be a Houston sports fan.
Tough, man.
It was probably a little too weird that they won that World Series. But no, this is.
I didn't even think about that.
They might not be able to get a package of first-round picks. They might just need to say, we're only getting 2 picks for Harden.
Yeah.
And you know what? I think at this point, I think they want like 5 picks. I think if you're getting 2 first-round picks, just do it.
Well, yeah, duh. He's not what after yesterday what you just saw him walking out of the press conference. He's done. Remember, he tried. He gave his all. He's given his all, and they're just not good enough.
And your only franchise, Raj, your only franchise that won something. They did it the wrong way, and everyone found out about it. It's not just bad that they did it the wrong way. I'm sure people have done things the wrong way in sports before. They got caught. Poor Houston.
No, not poor Houston, man.
I'm kidding.
I flew into Houston once. It was a connection flight. Didn't even get off, but it was hot.
Never been. I know it's really hot.
You can feel the heat in the plane when you land in Houston, man.
The Houston Heat.
Oh,
trade him to a bad, but he doesn't want to go to a bad franchise. You know what he said? He said he doesn't think the Rockets can beat the Lakers in a 7-game series. So he literally wants to he wants to pull what probably his former leader in Kevin Durant. He probably wants to pull what he did. I'm not trying to start that art, but he saw Durant did that. Durant didn't care that he was bashed on. Yeah. He won 2 Finals MVP, Cleveland or Chicago, but he doesn't want to be he doesn't want to do that. He wants to go to like maybe one of the 4 franchises. And honestly, those franchises, I don't think they should.
Here's the thing, though. Kevin
Those
Durant.
two teams would probably be better. I wish Terrell was here to say something about Chicago. My accent.
Guild Creative, let's go! Nebraska? Are you from Nebraska? Minnesota? You from Minnesota?
I never found out. I never knew I had an accent until senior year of high school. I worked at Shields and one of
You have an
20
accent?
bosses. You don't think I have an accent? Some people think I do.
I don't know. No.
Okay, do you think Marco has a Kansas accent? Well,
California.
Giltner Creative said, well, he's in LA.
Yeah,
When I was in
he's
New
California,
York,
bro.
when I was in New York, that was the first time people were saying, I can tell you're Midwestern, I can tell your Southern accent. I'm like, what?
You ever heard Esquete?
Let's get it. Let's get it. I don't know.
That my cousin in San Diego loves saying that. She loves saying it. She says Esquete. No.
Something north. This guy said I have a can't.
No.
He doesn't have. Well, obviously he thinks I sound a little different than Marco. Well, I mean,
We can talk about heritage.
yes, yeah.
Yeah. Raj
Raj still wants Doc Harden. I don't think Raj has got to the point where I have an accent.
We're in the delay part. Oh man.
Ramon's had an accent since he was 6.
You want to hear
Well, I should answer. Should we answer Giltner? I'm originally from Iran. I mean, I
Yeah.
only lived there for a year and a half, but I've lived in Kansas for most of my life.
I once you were in Cub Scouts?
I was not. No.
Man, I had one of the most embarrassing run-ins. So we used to sell popcorn. The Cub Scouts sell popcorn and everything. All right, so I'm selling popcorn. I'm going around my neighborhood and selling popcorn, and go to the store. Guy comes out, older gentleman. He's like, I do the pitch. Hey, my name's Mark Marquez. I'm from Troop 3184. We love camping. We want more. And I said, would you like to buy some popcorn? And he said, oh, yeah. He said, you from the neighborhood? I said, oh, yeah, I live right up there. And he's like, oh, what's your name? I said, well, if you would have heard me the first time, it's Marco Marquez. He said, Marquez. He's like, you must speak Spanish. I'm like, no, I don't know any Spanish. And he said, hold on, my wife is Spanish. Come here. He said, honey, come here. There's a little Spanish boy on our doorstep. And so she comes out. And he's like, speak some Spanish. And I said, I don't know Spanish. And so I said, hola. And so she starts speaking Spanish. And I'm just like, would you like to buy some popcorn?
Poor Cub
Kettle or
Rajat. Poor Cubs. I called you Rajat. Do you know why? Because I was thinking this. Are you an Eagle Scout?
No, that's Cub Scout. I did.
Well, Rajat's an Eagle Scout. I just thought of that Cub Scout.
Raj.
I wonder if he's going to write something about this accent or he's going to write about a joke of me not being Cub Scouts. But then I was thinking he was in.
Did I ever tell you the border story? How I almost got stuck in Mexico on coming back. So I was like 2 years old, and 4, maybe 4 years old, and we're in Mexico, and because we're visiting family in San Diego, so we go down to Tijuana, and we're driving. And I only know this story because my parents have told me. I don't really remember it. But we're driving across back the border into California, and I'm guessing, I don't for sure if it's post 9/11 or pre 9/11, so I don't know. But we're coming across the border, and we get stopped by border police. They got to check the passports and everything, and that's pretty funny. You just speak funny.
Yeah, I know. I get that.
Rosarito, which is I thought was in Tijuana. Mom making the story corrections.
Rosarito.
And so we get stopped, and I get dark in the summer. I get dark. My heritage shows in the summer. And so I'm about 2 or 4 years old. And so the Border Patrol cop comes up, and he asks my parents, and he sees me. And he's like, what are you two doing with that boy in the back? And they're like, that's our son. And they're like, is it? And so he comes around, he says, he looks me in the eye, comes around to my side of my window, and he says, little boy, he says, where are you from? I say, here. I say, here. I'm from here. I'm from the car.
Your parents are shaking in the car.
Yeah, they look at me like, what? No.
What? No, they're not.
And so he tells them to pull over, pull off to the side. And I guess he starts speaking Spanish to me, and I'm like, not understanding because I don't know Spanish.
No,
And so no passports were needed back then. So pre 9/11. All right, so they weren't even checking the passports. They were just doing the asking. What'd you come across with? He had to take our word for it.
Wow, that's kind of scary.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
Now, what
I
if there
can't
was
imagine.
someone who wasn't a you? I'm not saying you guys, but what if that thing has happened before?
Oh, I'm sure it has. I'm sure it's. I'm sure. I want to. I'm sure it has where people have gone down there and taken kids back across, taking them from their families. You know, I'm sure it's happened. That's why he would get so strict about it. You know, that would be something for a tourist to go down there and take a kid from their family. I don't know, but anyway, so yeah, that's the spiel right there. So your accent and then just my name.
You are yeah.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. That's a story like the
Man, accents. But like you don't think I have an accent.
No, but no.
What was that? What was that? You hesitated. It wasn't a strong no.
No, you don't. It's a damn song you put on.
No. Okay, you know what this is played? This is embarrassing. It's been my top. So I added some to queue that were kind of chill. Then it's my top songs 2020. So it's been everything.
Wow, so
right
play
now.
Spotify, man. You gotta love Spotify. Oh, we got about 15 minutes till we'll close out the show. If anyone's got some final questions,
Raj, Giltner, Renee, anyone else?
anyone want to sign an accent to Armand?
No, that's the thing. Like New York. So like over the last few years, like I've learned that people start saying I have like a little bit of an accent. I'm like, what in the world? Then in New York, they're saying I have a strong Midwestern, Southern.
Yeah.
And I'm here like, first of all, in the Midwest, I have the least Midwest accent. Then my mom says it's not an accent, it's a dialect. And if you think about this, we all learn language differently, right? We learn.
That's right. All right. So Raj, we're gonna do playoff talk on Friday. Friday's gonna be a 2-hour show special, NFL special. Armand, our social media manager, is gonna put out a post about that. Oh yeah, we'll do that at the end. Yeah. All right, go ahead and do what you're doing. But yeah, we're doing a 2-hour playoff show on Friday. Friday 10 a.m. We'll be here.
Yeah, man. Excuse me, I just got promoted.
Promoted? You're co-person here. If I'm doing the production, you can do social media.
All
right.
Well, we learn language differently, right? Who do we learn from? We learn from our parents, maybe mostly our mom, but we do learn from our parents.
Say our mom or our moms.
Our moms,
Okay,
right?
okay.
Because they're probably with us.
Yeah,
in
yeah,
time, with us a little more, right? But we learn from our parents. With me, I was learning. My mom was teaching me English since I was little, since I was born. But I was learning in a country that they didn't speak English. As soon as we came here, they were teaching me Farsi in a country that was learning English, in a country that was speaking English. So I was always learning.
Where'd you go learn Farsi's at?
No, like my parents were.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
But like, probably, and that type of communication, right? Is language really something, or is language just mimicking from a young age? We mimic what we hear. We're just parrots, right? So when you learn from two people, when you learn English from two, and you're on top of the table. When you learn from when you learn English from two people who that wasn't their native language, you're obviously going to have a little bit of a dialect, maybe a little bit of an accent.
Oh yeah.
And maybe that's the same for a lot of people. Maybe that's the same. Raj speaks better English than I do. I'll be honest.
That's fine.
He speaks like someone who was born here, born in St. Louis.
So you and in your household, you got English and Farsi's.
Yeah, Farsi. Yeah, but
Farsi.
Actually, as soon as my brother was born, they kind of started speaking English at home.
Yeah.
So then a lot of people would just assume that because I'm from a different country, we spoke a different language at home. We spoke English at home.
Amen to that. Yeah.
And when we moved to California that one year, I had to sit with this other girl who's Hispanic, and we have one day, it was Halloween, I was taken out from class because we had to take an English test because they thought we didn't speak, we weren't good. But I'm like,
hi.
My mom was raised in Missouri.
Maryville, Missouri, to be specific.
That's kind of as American as it gets. But
oh man, oh my goodness. Yeah, so my sister-in-law with my nieces and nephews, Spanish gets spoken in the house. For us, it was lost because my I didn't live with my grandma, and they got lost. They got lost somewhere along the way with Spanish speaking in the house, in the homes, and that's fine. That's fine.
It happens.
It happens.
Hopefully, we gain it back.
One day we'll
inshallah.
need it. Well, one day, inshallah.
Yeah, but
I love that.
But like that's the thing. Like my brother, I think my brother is better English than I.
Right.
I mean, obviously he was born here, but
Tony and Nico, all right. My mom coming in. My mom's in the group. We'll end the show now because I gotta get to work. We'll end on this note.
Ellos hablas español, no?
What did you
Yo
say?
hablo un poco, pero
Look at Renee getting emotional in the comments.
yo no bueno.
All right, she's gonna hate me if I don't do this.
Oh, he's a director. He coaches act. Oh, so he's a dialect. Well, if you ever need someone who should speak good English, but has a little bit of a dialect. You know, when I was at 810, people on Twitter, when they weren't being mean, said they could hear my foreign accent.
Yeah, remember when you played Family Feud?
Never mind. We have good accents too.
Gilner
Marco has
Creek.
always said I have a great British and Australian accent and
Yeah, I did go to Spanish school.
maybe Italian accent.
Gilner, thanks for coming back, man. We appreciate you. Raj, you're always a great voice in the group.
Raj maybe feels like he has to be here, and we love it.
We
That's
need to bring Raj on again. When we figure out the technical parts of having guests on, then we'll start having our friends on with us if they want to come on. We won't force you. But anyway, we'll end today's show. My mom brings up my brothers. Yeah, they had more Spanish than me. Probably
well, that's great.
probably-
Segue.
Probably had more love than me too. So tomorrow, my brother, 2 years older than me, Nico, he is going to. Oh, you're going to turn on the music for this
I
one? am. He is going to tap into that. All right. He is going to graduate from the Air Force boot camp. Nico
Really?
Marquez.
Nico,
Airman.
what is it? Airman Nico Marquez.
Airman Nico Marquez. And I'm going to put myself on camera here for a second because I need to show y'all. I didn't use the mug today. Maybe I'll use it for Friday's show. But this shows you just how much I love my airman brother. You got his little
Take
face.
out
on
the
look
eye
at
and it's Armand.
that. Look at that. Look at that handsome looking fella. Woo-wee. With the cap on and everything. We're going to fly the back out.
I wish
Oh,
you could see it.
my goodness. He can't see it today, can he? I sent him a congratulations video for his graduation tomorrow. Graduation is tomorrow. Wow, kind of crazy to think about. Tomorrow morning. So we'll
Time
be watching.
flies when you're having fun.
Yeah. talking about us or him.
Yes.
Yes. So Nico, he can't see this, but congratulations on your graduation. So yeah, shout out to Nico on his Air Force graduation. Airman Nico Marquez. Nicolas. There's a Spanish to it. Nicolas, Michael, Tony Emilio, Marco
I couldn't
Antonio.
find an Air Force song.
What's
But the
your
first thing that came up was the Air Force band
just
playing
Carol of the Bells. Thoughts on EPL? Raj,
You know, Raj, you should watch Ted Lasso.
You should watch Ted Lasso.
I'm-
Watch No, we'll leave it at that. Watch Ted Lasso and then come back on Friday and we'll talk some
and you
EPL.
tell us the thoughts of the EPL.
All right, guys, I got to get to work. Armand's got to get to schooling.
No.
No, I don't know what Armand's doing the rest
I
of the
got
day.
nothing. I don't know. Maybe playing some FIFA, speaking about EPL.
Maybe you can FaceTime Armand, but we'll save EPL and
That's
NFL
an
playoff
Android.
talk on Friday. We'll do a 2-hour show, hopefully. But thank you guys for tuning in again. We appreciate you spending your time with us, drinking your coffee, talking topics. It's great. We love it. We had some today. A lot of love in the air today. Can you feel the love tonight?
Just the Carol of the Bells, you know.
Oh.
I have my own microphone.
Thank you guys. Have a good one. We'll see you Friday.
See you later.